And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the St. David's Cricket Club, the home of the St. David's cricket team and their soccer program. We are here on November 1st, 2015, watching this second match of the day. It's a Dudley Eve semi-final. My name is Stan Bean, and that whistle has just gone to commence the beginning of it. And I'm joined here by Macy O'Deal, who's providing a wonderful analysis of this particular game while I try to give the color commentary. And the match is resumed with a 0-0 score. No team has been able to draw any blood, and the ball is now in the possession of the Dandytown Hornets deep in the half. Dandytown attempts to move the ball out, and here they go. Let's see what they've actually been able to put together in their halftime break to actually unlock this 0-0 deadlock. I also wish the same for PHC and their coaching staff.
Yeah, I think just PHC, the last game against Dandytown, it was a 4-0 result where Dandytown beat it. So I think PHC is psychologically a little bit conscious of pressing them, based on that result, because they was able to get 4, and they know the damage that could happen if they allow those balls to get onto them front 3 and one-on-one situations. So I think psychologically they're just kind of feeling their way back into this match against Dandytown. But immediately already they look like they came out and they're pressing a little bit more, the energy to press. So if you look at the numbers, Dandytown's they're just pushing that Dandytown line back more and more. So they're inching their way more and more into Dandytown's half.
Yes, and that was the second backward pass that Dandytown did to retain possession.
And that's going to breed frustration into the front 3 that's not going to get a lot of the ball.
Dominic Wilkins is moving, number 99, and he's fallen. PHC, which is Sequoia, is dribbling, and he's found his man in the box. And there's an opportunity, and it's in! Ladies and gentlemen, a blocked defensive after a shot.
Again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Pressing Dandytown in their half, getting at that soft back 4. The ball was lost by Dominique, trying to dribble the ball out of the defense. Sequoia's robbed him. He's put a good ball in, and that block clearance again. You see Cruckle's mishandling of crosses.
And the first blood has been drawn, ladies and gentlemen. PHC is celebrating. Dandytown, I'm sure, is stunned because they did possess the ball clearly for about 2 minutes. 2 backward passes, though, 20, 30 yards each. But they attempted to do what they're known for, which is possess and go around from side to side. It didn't work this time, and the ball was being picked out of the back of the net. And PHC but Dandytown is aggressively now trying to move forward here, and here comes Hall scooping the ball away from Dandytown's aggressive response.
And seeing PHC's halftime talk has helped, and it seems that the coach here has encouraged them to take a little bit more risk and press them in that half. But they have to be careful. They have to be careful of that counterattack.
Yes,
they have to keep working. No, I've looked at the benches of both teams, and I think advantage PHC with the players that got the players capable of coming on.
Same type of thing. Sequoia moving forward there quickly, just to interrupt, and almost resulting in another possible scenario. You were saying about the benches you observed.
Yeah, at PHC on their bench, they got the Shields that can come into the midfield. He can stabilize things. He can provide forward passes. They also got the young Castle that's, again, another bubbly. And with Shakir Smith out here on the left struggling a little bit, I'm going to look how long it's going to take to get another winger in, because Smith is struggling out here a bit. He's not his usual stuff. Yeah. It's going to see what Dandytown's made of now.
There's no movement on the bench, and obviously the coaches are looking to see exactly what the first 10 minutes are going to bring. We know that it has brought a positive result for PHC, and I'm sure they're feeling quite good about that. An interior pass to Marco Piper, who tries to hold the ball up. He's known to do that. He's a seasoned midfield player. He goes back to his passer. He's dropped into the pocket, and Sequoia Robinson's going to go long, and he goes wide. One player was offside, but he wasn't involved, and if they can keep this in, that's a good thing. Now, PHC is again looking to exploit the space. A flick back. Oh, and Williams was well seasoned to actually understand what was going to take place there, and he's possessed the ball for his team, and out comes Dandytown. And if PHC don't regroup, they've got 4 behind the ball right now, and Dandytown have gone to the right. Damon Ming has pushed the ball out to the right. Angelo Simmons is on it. He's been isolated, and he's gone to the baseline, and unfortunately he's lost the handle on it. He was looking to actually do what he does best, which is damage to the baseline and screw it back, and it didn't quite work out for him.
For me, it almost appears that PHC is a little bit intimidated of matching Dandytown 1-for-1 and going toe-to-toe with them. You know, again, my members of PHC are always the more physical and athletic team. And it seems that they're a little bit intimidated by matching Dandytown now, you know, from that perspective, from a physical standpoint, because they're afraid of being outplayed.
Got you. And that may be wise, and it also may be the from a boxing perspective, the rope-a-dope type of thing, where they may be actually lulling them into that type of position where, hey, we're not going to come after you that way, and get overly aggressive. We'll steal the ball, and we'll put it in the back of the net, and you'll be wondering how we did it.
And I'm very highly impressed with the back line of PHC, how they move it, how they're moving that line out. Is now that's got to transition into that midfield to step up a little bit higher, and then the front players to step out of the line, because the back line is doing a wonderful job in moving that line out and condensing the field and keeping the Dandytown attackers away from goal.
True with that. And here comes Angelo. The ball is beaten and Angelo's on the ball, and it comes across, and it's ahead of the way, and here comes a shot at 25 yards. I think that might have been Goda, and the ball sails safely over the top of the PHC goal, and they'll go back and retrieve that.
Goda's been scoring a bulk of Dandytown's goals lately. I know he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Yes, look at him shaking his arms up and saying, God, they should have done better.
Yeah. Because he found himself in acres of space, but again, that's the problem with PHC not matching Dandytown in that midfield toe-to-toe.
Yes.
Because that ball over the top was very easy, and that one-on-one situations are very, very dangerous.
Griffith is on the ball in the center of the park. He's looking to put the ball out there. He does attempt to find his man. He does, but the follow-up was not there. Sequoia.
Again, you see Robinson, Sequoia, his bubbly energy. He's around everything that's positive with PHC at this moment. What's going to be important? How long can he keep that up going into the later stages of the game?
Yes.
You know, for me, the opportunity to get Castle on or the Shields on and let Sequoia play off of the last man. You know, as PHC is going to look to be a little bit more defensive. Psychologically, that's just going to happen. They're going to look to be a little bit more defensive because they're protecting something.
Yes, for sure, as they should. And Troy Hall launches it away. This is a one-on-one opportunity, but the call comes for the goalkeeper to punch, and Crockett does do so, and they're going to try a long one. Sequoia saw that happening and developing, and he tried. It got blocked out.
It got blocked by Francis. He's made his mark again.
Oh, was that the referee?
It's got blocked by Francis. He's making his mark again.
Oh, referee needs to get out of the way. I'm sure that was the sentiment of some of the PHC players. But Sequoia Robinson smiled after that because he saw the opportunity, attempted it, and unfortunately a pink shirt got in the way.
Yeah, but I'm watching Sequoia. He's not actually he's not able to go in and fill in those gaps and get on to Goda there. Piper's the one that's going back and filling those gaps and leaving Sequoia a little bit higher, right?
Instinctively so, as you know. I mean, both of them are playing out of their traditional roles. Ooh! Well done, keeper, making very sure. But you know, and I hope you agree with me, these two players, as you know, as you've watched them come through their ranks, one was a traditional forward, the other one was a traditional midfielder. They're playing in opposite roles today, and you know how instinctively and as fatigue begins to happen, you just go back to what you know or what you've been trained to do predominantly in your career.
At this point, if I had to say which team and which coaches got it right today, I'll have to lean towards PHC. Because Dandytown's not been able to stamp their authority on this game.
No, not as yet. It may be that it's something that might happen in the next few minutes, but they have not been able to show how effective a possession type of game works in one's favor. And here it goes. Here's a sequence. And it was definitely a handball, but on the other side, the referee was on the other side. Dandytown remains with the possession. They've drawn two of PHC's defenders, and PHC has now gotten the ball, and out comes his player, and there's Shakir Smith, and Shakir is wonderfully played a 1-2 Sequoia, and they're on, and another 1-2 should take place, and unfortunately he's off. Unfortunately, he was expecting a 1-2 in the middle of the park from a player, and players need to recognize that when something's working, you continue to make it work. And unfortunately, that sequence went for naught.
Shakir's speed got the better of him because he was a good 10 yards offside just now. He needed to check his run as the play has developed because it was a very positive play. Yeah, he just needed to check his run a little bit.
Ball's back with the goalkeeper of the Dandytown Hornets, Macau Crockford. He's asking players to show and possess a space where he can knock the ball to. He goes long to the left-hand side, up skies PHC defender right back, and he knocks it into touch, and Dandytown will get possession in the PHC half. Okay, so we have a confirmation on that goal that was Shakir Smith. And PHC are on this ball again. They've got a 2-on-2 opportunity here, and its pass should have been better. Should have actually been into the space as opposed to trying to beat the defender with a pass around him diagonally. Angle was not quite right. Wonderful turn there by Ming, and Ming's looking to dribble. He eludes a player who steps up to try to do a crunching tackle on him, but the ball then gets knocked into touch by Ming. And PHC gets to do it. And Griffith is going to start again, and he was wonderfully sliding through their position is being sought after. PHC retains the possession, goes back out wide. There's a wonderful interior pass to Marco Piper. He feeds the ball on, and unfortunately didn't get quite through where he's battling to get it back because he knew what that potentially meant. And comes across and they're looking to steal, and Lynn Tucker astutely and calmly looks to slide the ball through a player's legs, and he doesn't do so. Not with Piper there. Piper now knocks the ball down for his player, and a wonderful straight-up pass from Sequoia, and he's going to go over the top, and Williams is doing, and he's beaten by Sequoia, and Sequoia sets it deposited, and he does so, ladies and gentlemen, and up goes PHC 2-0 in this semifinal of the Dudley. And what do you think about that?
And there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. PHC have pressed Dandytown in their half. They have robbed possession in Dandytown's half. The slaughter ball shoot to Sequoia. He showed great composure to stand up and slide the ball home.
Yes, sir. And it looks like that transition that may have taken place unconsciously or subconsciously by PHC, and again, where Sequoia is going to the high position at times.
Dandytown, as they want to label themselves as a possession team, they make a lot of bad decisions in that midfield. A lot of bad decisions coming out of that back line. And I think if you could just press them in their half, you can expose the softness.
It seems to be happening.
Because if you give me a minute to play or 3 seconds to play, even I will look good at 40 years old.
I hear you.
You know, but if you press them, let's see what they're made about. And I think pressing them rattles them. And as you see, as PHC slowly, disguise that pressing, and they're starting to press them now, it's rattled them.
Yes.
And the inability to get the ball on their front, Dandytown's strength is those front three.
Yes.
But if you press them and don't let that ball get to that front three, it's going to make it difficult for them.
Touch. Sequoia.
Again, as we talked about prior to the match, PHC's victory is going to revolve around Sequoia Robinson. So he's made one goal and he's finished the second goal. So he's shown his maturity and he's playing a captain's role here. Now what you just.
It's a red card, maybe.
And I was just about to say it. PHC goalkeeper Hall has a history of calamity.
Yes.
He has a history of calamity, especially when they're dominating teams. And he's going to have to be conscious of that because he has a history of calamity.
Yeah, I understand that he was at least 25 yards from the goal, but he panicked.
That was totally unnecessary.
Clear the ball. Just kick it anywhere.
That's outside the penalty box?
Yes, that's outside the penalty box.
Fortunately.
But this presents an opportunity.
It does. And PHC will have to defend it. And Dandytown are licking their chops right now, even though this particular thing is 6 yards off the goal line, outside the penalty area on the far side of the field, which is the eastern side. And Damon Ming has stepped back to try to beat a wall of 4 players. And they're tall enough. And where's Hall's looking, and the ball goes. And Damon Ming has gifted PHC another chance to retain this match in terms of a victory. They're 2-0 by putting the ball well and high and wide over the goal of PHC.
Ming will be disappointed with himself because that was a poor delivery and a great opportunity. And Dandytown looked to make the first change. They're taking off Kadir Madoc.
As well too.
Yeah, Madoc is coming off with Dominique Lambert. So this is a whole different type of forward player. He looks like a more of a stand-up forward, get the ball, strength. So it's a whole different type of philosophy that they're going after here.
And he's got size in terms of height, and he's somewhat of a stocky player. And he definitely is looking at the 6 foot plus mark.
And PHC's made a very good change because they're both on the shields, and he's going to look to settle things in that midfield and help PHC to boss the game a lot more.
Got you. Backward pass to Kwaku. Kwaku skies the ball up the field, and it looks like it's going to go into touch.
And as we talked about earlier, Kadir Madoc, his contribution to the game was going to have everything to do with fitness. And I think now we're entering into the 70th minute of the game. You could see his lack of fitness starting to be a factor.
This is wonderful. Just out. And again, we'll definitely see whether or not that pans out based on your initial observations. Ball's being thrown down by Dominique Williams, and number 20, Secoy Robinson, has got the ball, and he's looking for options. He touches the ball short to Lynn Swan. And they work the interior, and the ball is pushed forward by the substitute, his first touch. I'm sorry.
PHC has removed Anthony Hunter out of that midfield.
And they have the possession of the ball, though, and here we go forward. And number 11 there on PHC was wondering why did his player not run after that ball. That was Kenji Griffith. And initially impressed with him, not seeing him play a lot this season, but I know he was the one that was actually defensively headed the ball high and away when the cross came, and he also blocked an opportunity by Dandytown. His passing seems to be good, and he knows how to read the game from what I can tell. And he definitely does what I would see in a player, which he talks to his players about what he sees.
Stan, if you just look at the demeanor of Hall, PHC is up 2-0. When he gets the ball, he needs to settle it.
That's true.
He needs to be a settle, but he's so angsty. He's trying to play quickly, and they're up 2-0.
That's exactly.
Settle it. Allow your players to take breathers. Frustrate Dandytown a little bit, because the longer they don't have the ball, the more frustrated they're going to get.
True.
So he, as a goalkeeper, he needs to start reading the circumstances of the game.
Damn true at that.
He's a great shot stopper.
Shot blocker, yes.
For sure. But now he needs to start, reading the circumstances of the game and knowing when, where, and why to do certain things.
Absolutely. Those interrogatives of what you just mentioned are very, very prevalent in the game, and they need to be coached more in every position. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. And that's really one of the things that I think is definitely missing from our game going forward, is to actually get players to really understand what, where, why, how and when. And wonderfully done, and the flag went up, and the referee waved it off and said, okay, I've got it. The possession still is retained by the team, so we're not going to stop the game that way. And away come PHC. And we've got Shakir on the ball here, and he's looking to dribble. And they've given him time and space, and he knocks the ball internally.
And it passes out wide.
And he's got it back. He's entering the box, and he's going to shoot. And unfortunately, he will be disappointed with that on his favorite left foot.
But again, look how easy it is to penetrate Dandytown, to penetrate them. But they're staying to their philosophy. They're looking to play out. They're trusting their philosophy, which is great too.
Here they come again. Dandytown's looking to go, and they've been able to move the ball from the goal mouth up, and we've got two players, Sequoia Robbins.
I think PHC is creating a little imbalance right now because Sequoia doesn't seem like he has the legs to keep getting back and tucking in that midfield. So that has to be a consideration. For me, I'm getting another player on and getting Sequoia higher on that last man.
Got you.
You know, so because it's going to become a counter-attacking game, and he's the
look to knock it.
Yeah, he's the counter-attacking specialist in this situation. And Marco Piper's he's used his energy. He's not going to be able to go back in that midfield and put that work in. No. So that's got to be a factor going forward now.
Sure, that didn't. And saved wonderfully. And here is who we're talking about. Troy taking the time. This is what he should be doing. Just taking his time, using all his 18.
Just to control the game now.
Control the game.
I'm getting Marco Piper out of there.
And we are now, I didn't even check to see when the game got started in the second half, but it was probably at the top of the hour.
4 o'clock.
At 4, yes. So we're 25 minutes in. And this half is moving very, very quickly. Doesn't seem like the game's been on for that long. But I stand to be corrected. And nevertheless...
Now what's happening, which is interesting, PHC are committing more and more players forward.
Oh, there's an opportunity for and beautiful save of that opportunity. And PHC's got a counter going on. Williams is out there. And Williams has done well toward Griffith. And Griffith pushes the ball, or tries to push the ball away from Williams underneath of him as he carries the ball forward. And out comes Goda with the dribble. Goda's got his head down, but he needs some help, and he's found the help. The ball swept to the left side.
It's a lot of work.
And here comes and the ball is internally, and it's a slip and fall by the forward who just came on, number 23, Dominic Lambert.
It's that workload in that midfield for DeShields and Waldron is becoming taxing. Those two are covering a lot of ground with that workload. PHC need a third player in there. Sequoia's energy is not allowing them to get back there. That's got to be looked at this time, so the game can be a little bit more comfortable going into the finish line for PHC, so it's not so panicky.
Yes. Long ball by Williams, and the ball is knocked into touch by the defender of PHC.
And I'm just watching Sequoia. He's just not capable physically of getting back into filling in those spaces.
Got you.
But it's valuable on the field.
Without a doubt. And he's
off again. He's off again.
Marco's looking for him, and Marco's there. Marco's going to go back to his right foot, and that's a foul just outside the box. And who's going to step up, you think, to actually punish?
It's got to be one of the left footers.
Okay, that'll probably be Shakir. Shakir definitely is one of the guys that can hit a ball with venom, with accuracy.
Waldron's
Waldron's
queuing up around it. Griffin's coming in and he's asking questions. Sequoia's catching his breath.
Yes.
And he could easily take this.
Yeah, but I think he's not going to. He's going to dwell, but he's not going to be. He's bending over. He's trying to catch his breath. And you've got to credit what he just did in that he took the attack to the team and caused that opportunity, which is resulting into a deadly.
So just as we're talking, PHC's made their second substitutes. They're taking off. They're taking off Smith, which I think needed to come out. They're putting in
number 12.
Birchall. No, he's another bubbly player, winger type player. He's another bubbly player, but I still think that PHC needs to fill that midfield.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, and they're leaving Piper out there. And even if you just switch Sequoia and Piper, let Piper sit a little bit deeper.
I think that's
because I don't think they can't afford to have them both up there and leave that midfield wide open like they do.
I think subconsciously, I think that's what's taking place.
Yeah.
They're interchanging, and I think Piper recognizes, and I think Sequoia recognizes I'm the guy that needs to go. I've got more of the. Oh, that's a push. And that sub is trying to do what you mentioned. The ball goes long.
Yeah, if you see balls like that, they need to get on those type of balls and stop that ball forward. And Sequoia's just not got the legs at this time to be able to get on that.
Griffith skies high and knocks the ball back to where it came from. Damon Ming is on the dribble. He's looking to find someone to get involved. He finally finds Lin Swan, and Lin Swan punches the ball back out to the left side. Internal ball is delivered, and it's pushed right back to the passer. Goes back over there to the left-hand side. They're probing. Angelo Simmons came short. The ball goes, and now it's going to be switched to the other side where Sion comes forward, and there's a ball being driven. I'm sure an intended cross, but a wayward one.
Again, for me, they're allowing Dandytown too much possession. It's too much easy possession they're allowing Dandytown. And Dandytown at this point has not been able to make that count. But they're allowing them too much easy possession, and for me, just because of the balance.
But instinctively, Dandytown is actually shooting, to me, their own self in the foot, because they're actually doing what they know they can do, which is easy possession, when they should be possibly going direct. I think if they actually chose for about a 10-minute spell to actually go direct, they might actually find that they will get the results that they're looking for.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially the moment of the game, because they're put a big burly striker up there.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the idea. When you got a big burly striker, how much balls can I get into him, from a direct standpoint? But again, that doesn't seem like it's translating throughout the team.
No.
They're still with the philosophy, let's move it around, let's probe. But they've got the big burly striker, and I don't remember him having a touch. And this could be dangerous. This could be dangerous.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he saw he saw a lot.
I tell you, I'm always amazed about the psychological thing of a player when he has to chase a ball. Because we see Sequoia's not got the legs to defend and to get into his spaces, but when he has to chase that ball, something else happens. He finds that energy to chase that ball. If you're watching him now, he's struggling to get back on side.
Right. And it looks like he might
when that ball comes out
up on a cramp scenario, he's favoring.
But he's playing that real well. Piper just has to get a little bit deeper in there. He has to get a pace. He can't afford two strikers at this moment.
I give him his props. He allowed the ball to go out. I thought he had made a mistake in retrieving the ball. Out, goal kick, a few more seconds off the clock. Okay. Long drive by him into the half of Dandytown. It's headed out to the left where Damon Ming will chase it down. He collects. He's looking for support. He's being bothered. He finds the support. And PHC is repossessed, and there's a foul. Definitely a foul.
They got away. But again, the example of a pressing Dandytown's possessors of the ball. PHC are winning, and they're off to the races again.
Ming has started to replay, and he's moving forward, and he's knocked it back. He's now in the left back. It's now being pushed into the center back position. Williams, Dominique will look, and Goda's allowed to do not a 360, but a 180. I'm sorry. And they're on the dribble. Sion Robinson looked, and he's been dispossessed. Ball goes inside, and up steps Sion again, or Goda, I'm sorry, and he was almost allowed to push that ball through where Dandytown would have been able to get away. Piper came back, and here they've released Sequoia on the left side, and Sequoia's going to look to push the ball inside early to Burchell, and Burchell does enough to actually allow the ball to stay in the possession. And Piper's on this. He hooks the ball around. He's driving forward. He's going to find the player standing there. Sequoia slides him through, and this is in the box. But it's cleared quickly by Dandytown, and Goda looks to release.
I'm not been impressed with Dandytown's midfield three. You know, they're not had the creativity with the amount of possession that they had, and they're not had the creativity to feed their front three players.
And who has the ball right now?
I've really not been impressed
Virgil
with
slid the
them.
ball into a wonderful position. Play on, says the referee. And those appeals for handball for Marco Piper. He looked at the referee, and the referee says play on. Ball goes to Sion Robinson. He tries it long, and this is the first one of the attempts to find. And the ball is pushed wonderfully away and held by the keeper. Away by the keeper, and then PHC's players were able to help out.
Sion is realizing what the strikers
is there for.
So he's putting balls into, and you can see the trouble that putting balls into. What now has to happen is the follow-up. The second ball has to come.
That's correct.
But he's putting balls into the striker.
Sion Robinson's got the ball again. He will go short. Player Goda comes down. He gets an opportunity to survey the field, and he's looking to go short a little longer. Goes to Angelo, and he's quickly cut out there, and it slid across the field and then swept. Again, wonderful inside-out play, and it should be headed on. And Birchall's got an opportunity. He's going to go straight for goal, and out comes the keeper, Macau Crockle, and smothers that particular attempt. Crockle quickly releases, almost causing an opportunity for Damon Ming, but Ming has to track back, and he's actually won the ball. And he's starting his dribble, and he's in. Oh, and this is going to be, oh, my. I thought that would have been a foul, but referee Francis said play on, and there's a turnover. Goda's looking and has stolen the ball. And there's a wonderful block. Piper's done his job there. And Birchall's down the side again, going against two. He's going to cut to the right. He slides the ball across wonderfully, and not far enough. Ooh, and the ball's away by Dandytown, and wonderful tracking back there.
Stan, I have to commend the work of Waldron in that PHC ministry. He's been very quiet. He's been unsung, but he's allowing the likes of Sequoia and the front three to
beautiful.
play.
He's on, ladies and gentlemen.
And he's on,
ladies and gentlemen. Milken thought he was off. And here's another opportunity. And it's a corner. Williams stood up and looked to the side, said, hey, but the ball had already been played.
Another example of pressing him. But as I was saying earlier, Waldron's did a ton of work in that midfield. He's balanced off the team, and a lot of times he's had to do it. He's had to cover a lot of ground in that area by himself, but that's the hallmark of smartness and good decisions, because he's positioned himself in what I like to call half positions, where he can either get to the right, he can get to the left, or he can get forward, or he can get back. He's done a ton of work in there for him.
That wonderful workhorse, along with the experience as well of knowing how to work in that type of position. And I must credit the strategy of PHC to be able to pull that off. Here's an opportunity. Number 6 is running. Oh, he's running, and the keeper. Well,
Stan, I don't know about you, but I thought that was an easy foul.
I'm surprised.
I'm looking at the distance. Francis, I know Francis is doing a lot of work in the gym. He should be a little bit closer to that play.
I would think so.
He's a trainer. He should be a little bit closer to that play.
We have an injury now as a result.
Yeah.
Hall is down. He had to come out. He saw the danger. He put his body. But
Dandytown's now going away from the structure, because that player that was up in that is Lathan, and he's their center half. He's the center half, so they're going totally away from the structure, totally away from the organization, and they move themselves back to backyard football. And from what I'm seeing thus far, I'm surprised that PHC is got off to the slow start they have got off to the season.
Obviously it didn't click for them at the beginning of the football season schedule, but it's now seemingly something that they've been able to find to get working for them. And we can only wish them well that they can continue to do this. And that may be going down. Yes. 2 lackadaisical there by number 3, Piper. He thought he had possession and position, but it went off underneath his foot. And another substitution coming in for Dandytown, number 5. This is Tymon Daniels, and I don't know who he came in for.
He's replaced Lathan because I think Lathan's lost his discipline. He's left his position. He's lost his discipline, and Danny Town might be looking now to go with a 3 at the back and add an extra midfielder or extra attacking player. So that's a wise substitute.
And the ball is on the far right hand side. PHC is in the possession. And really, PHC is standing up comfortably, playing the balls into spaces. Players are executing timely runs, and Dandytown is having to actually defend these particular runs. And
Waldron is still standing there. If you look at his position now, Waldron, he's not filling that gap from an attacking standpoint. He's looking to protect that back four. So there must be something in there they're not comfortable with, that he feels that he's got to stand there and protect that back four the way he is.
Gotcha.
Because there's a gap there that he can move up into, and he can force the winger here to have to deal with him.
Got you.
Defend him. Yeah.
Piper's over there doing his job as well, interleaving with Secoy Robinson, holding midfields, Waldron.
And PHC is doing a good job of just killing the game off a little bit, slowing the game down, killing the game off. I'm surprised Danny Town's not showing a little bit more energy and forcing the starts of the play.
Gotcha, and look how they're positioned right now. I mean, their attacking power is sitting on the halfway line. They should be staggered, I would have thought, at least, to cause some concern. But hey, PHC, and there the ball slid out.
Well done, good pressure by Richardson.
Yes.
Kevin Richardson there. And he immediately gets back to
this game.
He immediately gets up.
Well, it's that time now. We're in that critical period of time whereby they're going to have to at least try to put something on the board to say that we're going to try to actually send this game into overtime, and that doesn't seem to be happening right at this moment. But I never say die to their potential potent attack. But the possession now has gone back from Dandytown into PHC, and the ball slid into a channel, and that's an undercut, ladies and gentlemen. Marco Piper was undercut there by, who was it, Sion Darrell?
That was Darrell. He's playing more of the center now.
Two former national teammates.
But again, that's indiscipline by Darrell, because he doesn't need stoppages in the game now.
No, he doesn't.
You don't need stoppages in the game, and PHC get another opportunity to get the ball in your box.
That's true, and here it comes, and it slid across here.
The gaps are just there.
And there's a stoppage. The referee has chosen to bring the ball back to be restarted from that free kick position, far on the far right-hand side of the field. Was he making some sort of notation? Did he book a player?
Well, with Francis, we never know with Francis.
Oh, okay, I don't know what happened there, but PHC retained possession. They knocked the ball back deep, and the ball's going to be swung across early. It's going around the side of the defense, and Siandar read that danger and looks to actually get the ball, and he does, and he plays it out on the left-hand side. Down further on the left-hand side, vertically. And down further and into PHC's half, and they're coming across the middle now, but PHC thwarted that attack, and they now look to do exactly the same thing, sliding the ball down the side. No one's running in the channels right now, but unfortunately the ball wasn't played with enough venom to get to the player, and Sion Darrow looks to slide this ball. No, it's Goder slides the ball across. Williams slides the ball in a vertical position, and they've got I don't know what happened there, and it looks like a foul. Definitely looks like a foul. The trees were in my way, and
he just put a little body on him. For me, I didn't think it was
Angelo
a foul.
Simmons has got the ball. He slides the ball into the ground, and up goes PHC players to Sky, and the ball goes over the baseline, and they get a corner now from it. Dandytown should, while I hear the bell over there ringing for urgency, they should be feeling that urgency. And up goes PHC players and pushes the ball back out 35 yards. Secoy Robinson flicks it even further right to the center line, and the back four organize and look to push this ball back inside, and they retain possession. Players being pressed there. Dandytown retains possession. They look to slide the ball interiorly, and unfortunately the striker knew that he should have done better, and the ball goes to the goalkeeper Troy Hall, and he throws the ball down the side trying to find one of his players, and it's worked out. Marco Piper's looking to go, and he should be he turned it back, but unfortunately the turn back was cut out. He was trying to hold on to the ball, but Dandytown have one possession. It comes across the middle of the park to Dominic Williams, and Williams is pointing out directions, and he's looking to organize. He chooses to go internally to Simmons, Angelo, and a big boot. Waldron pumps it back to the center, and number 20.
Stan, for me, I know Dandytown, and speaking to their coach prior to the game, they pride themselves on being a possession team.
This is dangerous looking. What's going to happen? Oh, and almost happened, but Troy Hall was able to get that ball down.
Yeah, I'm not impressed at all with their possession play. The decision making, the technical skills coming out of midfield, the pass and completion is just not there for me. And this is the surface, and this is the field to do it because you got the width.
Yep.
You got the width there, and so I'm really not impressed with them from being able to call themselves a possession team. Yeah.
And here comes PHC going to Birchall, who's shorter.
And for me, I think the coach has got the balance wrong as far as the players in position. And I think they do have the players that are capable of doing that, but the balance of it, the top 3 players who are the technically skilled, creative players,
yes,
they're up there waiting for the ball.
Yes, they are.
For me, those are the midfield players because they need to have the ball the most. They need to be able to create with Maynard, with Swan, with yeah. So I just think the selection and the balance is not aiding the philosophy that Dandytown are looking at.
They are totally out of it right at this particular moment. Angelo Simmons should have turned and drove towards the goal. He chose to involve the center back Wilkins. Wilkins attempted to put in the right back, and he mishit it. So they really seem like they're a little bit discombobulated at this time relative to how they should get themselves from back into this match. Even from an execution point of view, passing the ball as well, even from putting a score on the board. So yes, I think they have some work to do regarding that. And another substitution has come in for the Dandytown Hornets, number 17, DeAndre Doling.
It's Gaia. I have to credit the PHC coach today because he's got it right. He's contained them. He's nullified their ability to attack them, and he slowly inched his team far up the field to be able to win the ball in Dandytown's half and start their counterattack. So he's got it right today.
Yes. And credit the members of the team to be able to be disciplined enough and patient enough to actually do what probably was the game plan all along, and it's worked out well. They've gotten 2 goals, and they're about to win this match.
Yeah, if I have to say, the Dandytown coach has been outsmarted by Mark Wade today. Because all the circumstances suited Dandytown. The fact that they beat PHC last game 4-0. They've been on a high as of late with the results. They're coming onto a surface of field. They're the defending champions of the tournament.
And Williams has had to defend again against Birchall, and Dandytown are on the move again. And the Dew is playing a bit of a part now with this game because players are beginning to slip. Oh, and a wonderful athletic movement by Goder there in terms of doing a Jamaican roll, and he was doing that at a wonderful pace as well, and he's retained possession for his team in doing that as a defender. A second defender attempted to step up and actually do things. So Dominic has thrown the ball in to Lynn Tucker. Lynn Tucker's returned the ball, and Dominic's going to swing this ball across, and a wonderful tackle by the substitute number 12, Birchall, who made sure that the ball was not swung into a dangerous area, which was towards his goal. Dandytown is going to have to make another attempt to restart this play and throw, and Williams throws the ball in, and Goder's got this ball, but it's stolen, and Birchall feeds to Coy Robinson, and Robinson's going to look to swing the ball into the center, and it does, and it goes out to the right-hand side, and PHC are under attack. Oh, and Sequoia Robinson's going to have to hold his run. He's actually limping and favoring his right side, and it looks like a foul has been called. Oh, and the ball's being kicked away, and that's not a good sign for sportsmanship, ladies and gentlemen, by the Dandytown player.
Again, Dandytown has completely lost their discipline. I was involved in a conversation earlier this year about backyard football, and they're going back to that level now. They're completely lost their discipline in a time where they need to show their discipline and maturity. And it's a rare copy issued by Francis. Again, if you can frustrate a possession team, these are the things that happen with frustration.
And it seems like it has. First red card of the match, and for both matches, really.
And Sion Darrell would, when he reflects on this, he will be disappointed. Because he's one of the leaders in the team.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, he's taking his time going off the field. This is just totally not team play. His team needs to get off the team, and he's taking his time walking off the field. These are the standards that we have to uphold in our game. And if we don't uphold these standards, we continue to drop the standard of our game.
Oh, yeah, and the maturity of the game in terms of our local football will continue to hiccup relative to these types of things. So, at this particular time in my career, we're watching the game now under the total auspices of the youth and the new generation that's coming forward. One of the questions I'm really beginning to ask and try to have dialogues with people is, why hasn't our game begun to mature back towards what maybe 4 generations ago we were at a particular level? There's a reason for it.
Yeah, most definitely. One of the major reasons for me is that we haven't evolved with the concepts of delivering the game. We are still stuck on talent. We're stuck on talent. We've got a talented player, and by talent I mean a player that can kick, run, and dribble with the ball.
Yes, I agree.
But we haven't figured out how to develop that raw talent into something that is world class, or something that, from that raw talent. And I always use the example of my experiences at North Village, as we won so much. And the argument I had coaching the likes of Jamiko, Kofi, Ralphie is what they were good at 5, they are good at 30.
Gotcha.
And what they was bad at 5, they was bad at 30. So that tells me development's not happening.
Burchell had an opportunity to put a shot through after it was partially blocked by the wall and add to this tally of the score. And didn't quite work out, but PHC again on the move. They've got numbers, they've got position, and a shot. Really not the best of opportunity.
Yeah, and Stan, just back to that question, and I can say that about all the players in Bermuda. How have they developed? How have they grown? And how have we as coaches or clubs helped them to grow and implemented the things for them to grow? So it's not entirely the players' fault. It's not their fault.
No, I don't put it there, really. Yeah. I really want to start this conversation at the club level, the administration level, and at the coaching level, because I definitely think there's a disconnect there. But the game has ended, ladies and gentlemen.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Have a good one.
Thank you. The game has ended there. Referee Francis has brought this game to a conclusion with 2-0 to the benefit of the PHC, who will advance in this competition to the final. They have actually thwarted the Dandytown Hornets, whereby they were not able to get onto the particular scoreboard at all today. And Dandytown, I'm sure, will revisit this particular execution of this match to their benefit in terms of review sometime in the future. But PHC will go forward, no extra time, no penalties. They have won it outright with a 2-0 score, and I thank Maceo Dio for his analytical observation of this particular match, ladies and gentlemen. Our cameraman, Wenji Simmons, is here, and for those of you here on the radio and around the world, we thank you for your time and effort in watching this match, and this is Stan Bean signing off.